Hello everybody, Pete the Poet here. This poem's called The Martyrs, and I do apologise in advance, it can be a bit graphic. Caesar looks on from his throne of power, and he smiles as the people cheer. But in the arena, a family cowers as they farewell each other with final tears. The wild beasts are loosed, mad with fright. A family embraces with prayers and goodbyes. As tender flesh tears, the animals fight, and they feed on the bodies of a people despised. In the dungeon he sits, starving and cold. The inquisitors come to extract a confession. He's burnt with hot irons, though he's feeble and old, and the tongue screw brings agony too great to mention. Hooks are shoved through his soft fleshy parts, and then ripped out by force again and again. The whip and the rack strike fear to his heart, but he holds on to Jesus in his hours of pain. Chained to the stake for heresy spoke, she looks upon the Pharisees bound to their law. Yet she still feels compassion for their terrible yoke. But as she prays for their souls, they hate her the more. The fire is lit, but the wood's damp and green. In anguish she struggles, unable to die. Held up out of the flames, no mercy is seen. For preaching the Bible, she's roasted alive. A township of folks who believe on the word go about their business in peace. And then breaking the stillness, a war cry is heard, and upon them the wrath of the world is released. The women are raped, then impaled on stakes. The men are gutted and dragged through the streets. Soldiers club children and laugh as bones break. And a people once persecuted now sit at their Lord's feet. A bullet is fired and it cuts through the air. It impacts flesh with a thud. Death strikes down the man who would dare spread the message of redeeming blood. Violent rioters target the church. God's children are beaten and killed. Troubles go where they go. They don't have to search. With trials and pain, their cups are filled. And we must ask ourselves, where would we stand if we had to die for our faith? Would you suffer and die for the Lord's promised land, or run away and hide in disgrace? But the days are upon us. The time is near when the pleas of the martyrs are heard. The Father of lights will wipe away every tear, and his vengeance will be true to his word. I know I think a lot about this. Just what would I do in that situation? You're faced with death or terrible agonies and terrible death. What would you do? What would I do? You must admit we're a softer generation these days than they were back then when life was harder and you had to work harder for longer. We're a lot softer. Just how would we do? Well, times might be different, people might be different, God's the same. I think when the time comes, he's promised that he'll put the words in our mouth that we need. He wants us to speak. And he'll give us the grace to get through whatever we need to get through if we rely on him. Hopefully we'll have the strength and presence of mind to do just that. Thank you everybody for listening. Once again, I'm sorry about the graphic detail in the poem, but I really couldn't think of any other way to portray it. Thank you all. See you next time. Bye.